have 5 examples of how we can look at what happens to the sign when we're multiplying real numbers. 6 times a negative 3. That produces a value of 18, and its sign is a positive times a negative, which will produce a negative 18. Negative 1/5 times a positive 2/3. Multiplying fractions, it's top times top, bottom times bottom. So this becomes a negative 2 over a 15. Negative times a positive produces a negative. Negative 9 times negative 10. Now, this one is another example of how important it is to understand and keep track of our parentheses. And these parentheses together indicates a multiplication problem, but also helps us to know that the negative is with the 9 and the other negative is with the 10. It's not a subtraction problem, it's a multiplication problem. So a negative times a negative produces a positive, and then 9 times 10 is a 90. Negative 1.4 decimal times a 2 produces a 2.8, and its sign, it's negative times a positive, produces a negative. And now I have a negative 372 times 0. Oh, I love 0. Zeros, if you can understand the power of them, will help many problems. Well, they just help. So minus 372 times 0, anything times 0 just becomes a 0. Just becomes a 0.